Sarah.
Sarah.
I think I didn't do anything wrong, just told him the truth about his body. But when the process server handed me those papers at my sister's birthday party in front of everyone, I laughed and called him pathetic, and I stopped laughing when my lawyer explained what he'd been documenting for 8 months. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible stories. My name is Cordelia, but everyone calls me Cora, and I'm 33 years old, and I work in marketing, and my husband Nathan is 35 and works as an accountant, and we have 2 kids named Lily, who's 7, and Owen, who's 4. I need to explain how this all started because people don't understand that I had good reasons for what I did. Nathan used to be attractive when we got married 9 years ago, but then he hurt his knee and gained 40 pounds and stopped caring about how he looked. And I'm someone who values health and fitness, and I couldn't help that I stopped feeling attracted to him. I met Derek at my gym about 6 months ago, and he's 29 and a personal trainer, and he has the kind of body that Nathan used to have, and Derek made me feel alive again, in a way I hadn't felt in years. And I know people will judge me, but they don't understand what it's like to live with someone who just gave up on themselves. The problems really started getting bad when I came home late one night around 10, and Nathan was waiting in the kitchen, and he asked why I smelled like cologne, and why I was always working late, and I told him his insecurity was unattractive, and that I worked late because someone in this family had to care about their image. I know that sounds harsh, but I was frustrated because he kept questioning me instead of looking at himself and what he'd become. That same night, Nathan made pasta for dinner, but I told him it was too fattening, and I mentioned that the number he showed me on the scale that morning explained why things were dead between us in the bedroom, and I saw his face just fall, but I thought maybe the truth would motivate him finally. Later, when Nathan asked if I was seeing someone, I actually laughed and asked him who would want him if I left, and I know that was cruel, but I was angry that he was making me feel guilty for his own failures. I decided right then that I wasn't going to hide the affair much longer because Nathan didn't deserve my loyalty anymore. Not when he couldn't even take care of himself. Things escalated when we went to my mother Patricia's house for Sunday dinner, and Nathan's mother Margaret was there too, and I made sure to tell everyone at the table that Nathan's laziness was affecting how our children viewed health, and I said I'd tried to help him, but he just made excuses about his knee injury from 2 years ago. My brother Ben, who's 34, agreed with me and said Nathan was setting a bad example and should hit the gym, and my mother said Nathan needed motivation, but Margaret said I was being unnecessarily harsh and that Nathan worked hard for our family. I got defensive and told Margaret she was enabling Nathan's problems, and Ben backed me up saying I deserved better, but I noticed Lily sitting there quietly and refusing to eat. During dinner, I commented loudly that Nathan took a second helping of potatoes and asked if he really needed it, and the table went quiet, but Ben laughed and asked Nathan when he last saw his abs, and Nathan excused himself to the bathroom, with Margaret following him. Later that week at the gym, I told my best friend Rachel, who's 31, and works with me about Derek, and I said my marriage was basically over anyway, and Rachel said I was glowing and asked for details. I described Derek's body and said the difference from Nathan was night and day, and Rachel suggested I should just leave Nathan, but I told her I wanted him to understand what he lost first. I think that's fair, because Nathan needed to see the consequences of letting himself go like that. The real turning point came when I arranged dinner at Riverside Bistro with Ben, Patricia, and Rachel, and I made sure Nathan came too, and at the restaurant, I criticized Nathan's food choices in front of our server and told everyone that Nathan couldn't fit into his wedding suit anymore, and that's why our marriage was failing. Ben actually recorded some of my comments on his phone and said he'd show Nathan what tough love looked like, and I posted a photo on social media with Derek at the gym with a caption about surrounding yourself with motivated people. I told a story about how Nathan's shirt button popped at a work event and how mortified I was, and Ben added that Nathan was athletic in college and what happened, and the server looked so uncomfortable, but I didn't care because Nathan needed to hear this. That night, I found Nathan in his home office with his laptop and a notebook, and when I asked what he was doing, he said he was organizing finances, and he seemed calm, which actually annoyed me more than his sadness did. Then Nathan told me he made an appointment with someone important but wouldn't say who, and I found a business card on his desk for Chen and Associates Family Law, and I actually laughed because I thought Nathan didn't have the spine to actually leave me. I got more careless after that because I wasn't worried. I told Rachel that Nathan found the lawyer's card, but I made more money than him and he needed me, and I said Nathan had no proof of anything because I'd been careful. I told Derek that Nathan was probably going to file, but that I'd get primary custody because Nathan couldn't even manage his own health. And I even coached Lily to tell people that Daddy sleeps a lot and Mummy does everything. My mother started asking if I was being unfair and mentioned that Ben seemed to be enjoying Nathan's humiliation too much, but Ben dismissed this and said Nathan brought it on himself. Margaret asked to take the children for a weekend, which I allowed, and Rachel started distancing herself slightly when I described details of the affair at work. I stayed at Derek's apartment 3 nights in 1 week, telling Nathan I had a major project deadline, and Nathan just nodded and wrote in his notebook, and I noticed Nathan had lost about 15 pounds and looked better, which irritated me. I told him the weight loss wouldn't fix what was broken, and Nathan said he was doing it for himself, not for me. I posted another gym photo with Derek, and this time our hands were touching and Ben commented with fire emojis. And when I came home Friday night, Nathan had installed a doorbell camera, claiming it was for security. Nathan asked to take the children to his mother's for a weekend to give me space for my project, and I agreed happily because I was planning a full weekend with Derek, not realizing Nathan was creating a timeline of my absences and documenting my social media posts frame by frame. Then came my sister's birthday party at my mother's house, and everything fell apart. A process server showed up and asked for me in front of 20 family members and friends, and I signed for the envelope and opened it and laughed, calling Nathan's not pathetic. He was strategic, quietly gathering undeniable evidence, dates, locations, messages, footage, and financial records that exposed your affair with Derek and your attempts to deceive and alienate. The court saw through your defenses, prioritizing the kids' well-being over your claims of seeking happiness. His documentation wasn't obsession, it was protection. You underestimated him, and now you're facing the consequences of your choices: lost custody, supervised visits, and a fractured family. Happiness built on lies and cruelty, as Nathan said, collapses. Reflect, take the parenting classes, and rebuild from there. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next story. Write in the comments from which city you are watching.